3 terrifying wilderness encounters caught on camera. Viewer warning. Our truck was already parked in the driveway, but we were still driving it. Tonight I'm sharing 3 bicycling encounters that turn familiar roads into something unrecognizable. The first involves a couple who used friendship as bait and left someone stranded with a wire meant to kill. The second, 2 sisters driving home who saw their own vehicle parked at home while they were still in it. And the third, 3 friends walking home who were followed by something that bends in ways humans don't. Something that marked them. These are their stories. Story 1. They seemed friendly, then they stranded me. This happened 6 years ago when I was 21. I'm a mountain biker. I've been since I was 14 years old. It's not about competition for me. I just love the trails, the exercise, the peace. That day I decided to hit a spot I'd been to a few times before. Nothing too challenging, but it wasn't one of my regular trails, so I wasn't super familiar with it. When I got there, I was getting my pack ready in the parking area when I met this guy doing the same thing. We started talking and hit it off pretty well. He seemed like someone I could actually be friends with, same age, same interests, very friendly. He introduced me to his girlfriend. She was into mountain biking too, also super friendly. They seemed to have a really healthy relationship. No red flags, or none at all. They asked if I wanted to ride their favorite trail with them. I didn't see any harm in it. Plus, I wanted to learn the area better for future rides, so we took off. The trail was one I'd never been on before, and these 2 were fast, a lot faster than me. But I'm not one to back down from a challenge. I kept up, even though I was probably about 10 or 15 feet behind them the whole time. We stopped for a water break. I remember noticing something odd. The guy had opened his backpack, then closed it, then opened it back up just a little bit. At that time, I thought nothing of it. Now it makes a lot more sense. I went into the trees to take a piss. I was gone for maybe 30 seconds, and that's when I heard them laughing. And then the sound of their bikes taking off. I was in the middle of it, so I had to hurry up and get back to my bike. By the time I did, they were completely out of sight, and both of my tires had been slashed. I was stranded, 6 miles from my car in the middle of the trail alone. I sat down for about 10 minutes trying to figure out what to do. The sun was at its peak, and I remember feeling extremely lightheaded. I'm pretty sure it was shock. I grabbed my bike and started walking. After about 15 minutes, I came across something that made my blood run cold. A wire, stretched across the trail tied between 2 small trees. At throat height. If I'd been riding, that wire would have slit my throat. But they'd slashed my tires. They wanted me to walk. I pulled out my Swiss Army knife and cut the wire down. I wasn't about to go any further down that trail. I turned around and started walking back the way I came. 6 miles later, I made it back to the car. There was a bike shop nearby. I stopped and asked them about the couple. I gave them the best description I could. It wasn't enough to identify them. They offered to call the police, but after the day I'd had, I just wanted to go home. I regret that decision because over the years, I've wondered, did they do this to someone else? Did someone else find that wire? Did they survive? I feel guilty about it. I should have reported it, but I was young and scared, and I just wanted it to be over. I've never been back to that trail. I still mountain bike, but I never go alone anymore. Thankfully, my wife is a fellow biker, so I've always got a buddy now. So please, if you're reading this, stay safe out there and don't trust a friendly face. Sometimes the danger on the trail is human, but what if it's not? What if something follows you through the darkness and you can't see it, but you can feel it? This next story comes from rural Northern America, and once stalked these 2 friends, walked on 2 legs, but was not human. Story 2. We thought we were alone, then the woods responded. This happened 2 summers ago in rural Oregon. My older sister Rachel and I were driving home from our late shift at a berry farm. It was seasonal work, decent money, terrible hours. We'd usually finish around midnight, then drive 30 minutes back to our family's house on the old highway. That night started normally. We were tired, not talking much, just the sound of the truck and some country station on the radio. About 10 minutes into the drive, Rachel slowed down. "Did you see that?" I looked up from my phone. "See what?" She pointed ahead. "Something on the side of the road." I looked. Nothing. Probably a deer," I said. She shook her head. "It was standing up like a person." We kept driving. 5 minutes later, I saw it. On the right side of the road, standing on the shoulder facing away from us. It was small, child-sized, wearing what looked like a dark jacket or coat. "That's a kid," Rachel said, slowing down. "What's a kid doing out here?" She pulled over and rolled down her window. "Hey, you okay?" The figure didn't move, didn't turn around, just stood there facing the field. Rachel looked at me. "Should we?" I shook my head. Something's wrong. Drive." She hesitated, then hit the gas. We both kept watching it in the mirrors. It never moved. "That was weird," Rachel said. "Yeah." About 3 miles down the road, we saw it again. Same figure, same size, same dark jacket, standing on the left side of the road this time facing away. "That's not possible," Rachel said. We didn't stop this time, just drove past. I watched it in the side mirror. It never turned around, never moved. "Maybe it's 2 different people," Rachel said. "Out here at midnight, dressed exactly the same?" She didn't answer. The radio started acting up, static cutting through the music. Rachel reached to change the station. Every station was the same, static with something underneath it, not music, not talking. A sound, low and rhythmic. "What is that?" I asked. Rachel turned the radio off. The sound didn't stop. It was quieter, but we could still hear it, coming from somewhere in the dashboard. "That's not coming from the radio," Rachel said. We drove faster. The sound got louder. The closer we got to home, the louder it got. And that's when I realized something. "Rachel, it's counting down." "What?" "That sound is not random, it's counting. Listen." She listened. "Oh my God, you're right." We were maybe 5 minutes from home. "When it gets to 0, I started. "Don't," Rachel said. We came around the last curve before our driveway. Rachel slammed on the brakes. Our truck was already in the driveway. "What the hell?" Rachel whispered. Our truck. Same color, same dents, same broken taillight, parked in our driveway. "We're in the truck," I said. "I know," Rachel said. We sat there, engine running. Both of us were staring at our truck parked 50 feet ahead. The sound from the dashboard reached its last few pulses, then stopped. The driver's door of the truck in the driveway opened. Someone got out. It was dark and I couldn't see clearly, but the shape was wrong, too small, child-sized. Same dark jacket. It stood there for a moment, then it turned and looked at us. Even from that distance, even in the dark, I knew it was looking right at us. Rachel put the truck in reverse. "What are you doing?" I asked. "We're not going home." She backed up, turned around, and drove back the way we came. We drove to a 24-hour diner 15 miles away and sat there until sunrise. When we got home in the morning, our truck was parked where it should be, where we'd left it when we went to work. Our parents asked why we were so late. We told them we stopped at a friend's house. We went back that night during daylight and drove every inch of that road. No figure, no child, nothing. But 2 weeks later, a missing person report came up on the local news. A kid had disappeared from a farm about 20 miles from ours. They showed his photo. Dark jacket, about 8 years old. He'd been missing for 3 weeks. They never found him. Rachel and I took the long way home after work for the rest of that summer. We never drove that road at night again. Story 3. I barely escaped, and whatever it was followed me. This happened when I was 14 in rural Vermont. I'd missed the bus home because of detention. It was late November, so even though it was only 4:30, the sun was already setting. My friends Marissa and Jen had detention too, so we decided to walk home together. We lived in the same direction, about 2 miles from school. Most of the walk was fine. We stayed on the main road for the first mile. Then we had to cut through the old mill district to get to our neighborhood. There used to be textile mills there in the 1900s. Now it's just empty buildings and overgrown lots. Not dangerous exactly, just quiet. We were cutting through one of the parking lots when Jen stopped. "Someone's following us." Marissa and I turned around. There was a person about 50 feet back walking in the same direction. "So?" Marissa said. "It's a public path. They weren't there a second ago." Jen said. We kept walking, faster. I looked back. The person was closer now, maybe 30 feet.
Okay, that's weird,
Marissa said. We started walking even faster. The person kept pace, not running, just matching our speed exactly. We came to the chain link fence that separated the mill properly from the residential area. There's a gap in the fence everyone uses as a shortcut. We squeezed through. I looked back. The person was right at the fence, maybe 10 feet away now. That's when I saw how they were moving. Their joints bent the wrong way. When they walked, their knees bent backwards like a bird's legs, and I still couldn't see their faces. It was always in the shadows, even though the streetlight was right there. Run, I said. We ran. We could hear it behind us, not running footsteps, something else, a scraping, dragging sound. We made it to Jen's house first. She lived closest. We pounded on the door. Her dad opened it and we practically fell inside. What's wrong? We told him someone was chasing us. He grabbed a flashlight and went outside. We watched from the window. He walked up and down the street, shining his light around. Nothing. He came back inside. There's nobody out there.
We saw someone,
Jen insisted. He looked at us like we were being dramatic. Nah, probably just someone walking home from work. He got spooked, it happens. Marissa's mom came and picked us up 10 minutes later and she drove us home. I felt stupid. Maybe we'd overreacted. When I got home, I went straight to my room. My brother Alex was in the hallway. Hey, you okay? You look freaked out. I told him what happened. His face changed. Where exactly did you see this person? Near the old mills, why? He pulled me into his room and closed the door. Did you see their face? No, it was always in the shadows. He sat down on his bed and I looked at the floor. Did they move weird, like wrong? How'd you know that? He took a breath. I saw the same thing 3 years ago. I was coming home late with some friends, same area, same person. Why didn't you tell anyone? I did, Mom, the school counselor, the cops. He looked at me. Nobody believed me. They said I was making it up, getting attention. Did it do anything to you? Well, it followed us to Brian's house. We locked the doors. His dad went outside, nothing there. So nothing happened. He pulled up his sleeve. On his forearm were 3 faint scars, letters, S-E-E. I woke up the next morning and they were there, on my arm. I wasn't touched, I didn't feel anything, but they were there. Did you tell Mom? Yeah, she thought I did it to myself. Took me to therapy for 6 months. He pulled his sleeve back down. So when you said you saw it, I believed you. I went to bed that night with my door locked. When I woke up the next morning, I had scratches on my right arm, 3 letters, S-E-E. I showed Alex, he just nodded. Don't tell Mom, she won't believe you, and it'll just make things worse. I wore long sleeves for weeks until they faded. A few months later, I was searching online about the Mill District. I found a local history blog. There was a post about missing persons in our town. 16 cases over the past 40 years, all teenagers between 13 and 17. All last seen near the old mill complex. None of them were ever found. I'm 19 now, moved out for college, but Alex still lives at home. Last week he texted me. The Johnson's kid didn't come home last night. They found his backpack near the mills. He's 15. The police is searching, but I don't think they'll find him. 3 stories, 3 people on familiar routes, 3 encounters that shattered their sense of safety. The first was portrayed by people who seemed trustworthy, left stranded on a trail with a wire at throat height. The second saw something impossible, their own truck already at home with something sitting inside it. And the third was followed by something that moves wrong, something that marks teenagers with 3 letters, S-E-E. We ride bikes and drive cars on the roads these days. We think we know them. We think we're safe on routes we've traveled 1,000 times, but these stories remind us that familiarity isn't safe. Whether it's human predators, impossible duplications of reality, or something that hunts teenagers near abandoned places, the roads we think we know can become a foreign territory in an instant. So the next time you are biking or driving alone, remember these stories. Trust your instincts, bring a buddy. And if something feels wrong, don't ignore it. If you made it this far, drop your own encounter in the comments below. And if you want more true stories like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The roads are waiting. Stay safe out there.